Hey guys, before I start, this review will be spoiler free. If you haven't seen Knives Out, no worries. I'm pretty sure nothing I say in this review is a spoiler. Enjoy! Knives Out is a whodunit directed by Rian Johnson. It focuses on Detective Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, as he investigates the mysterious circumstances of how crime novelist Harlan Thrombey died on the night of his 80th birthday. Through flashbacks and exposition, we learn that Harlan burned a lot of bridges that night, leaving several of his family members as suspects. As the film progresses, we find out that Harlan's nurse Marta, played by Ana de Armas, accidentally killed him, and so the story is flipped so that the rest of the movie focuses on her trying to dupe Blanc and hide the evidence. I had a blast with Knives Out. It is so much fun. In the film, Marta has an inability to lie because if she does, she'll throw up. This adds to the originality so much, and it can help a lot with storytelling so we know when she's lying. Actually, it's mentioned later as a joke when Harlan's grandson Ransom brings up a game of Mafia she played with the family. And in case you don't get the joke or you haven't played Mafia, you have to lie a lot in Mafia. Another fun moment in the film is when Blanc reveals the twist using donuts and donut holes as a metaphor. And as much as I don't like that scene, I still think the wordplay he uses when he says, "I spoke in the car about the hole at the center of this donut. And yes, what you and Harlan did that fateful night seems at first glance to fill that hole perfectly. A donut hole in the donut's hole. But we must look at a little closer, and when we do, we see that the donut hole has a hole in its center. It's not a donut hole at all, but a smaller donut with its own hole. And our donut is not whole at all." I had a lot of fun with that line. That was a hilarious line. And I'm not sure about anybody else, but I burst out laughing at a car chase scene where there are 3 fast police cars chasing, and the person they're chasing is driving a Prius at something like 60 miles per hour. I like how this film uses the dysfunctional family to convey the story. Towards the beginning, the 2 police officers and Blanc interview Harlan's family members about the night he was murdered, and everyone they interview flashes back to when Harlan blows out his birthday candles. And every flashback, they imagine it so whoever is telling the story and their spouse or child are at Harlan's side. I guess this is to show how each of them are so self-centered enough to completely isolate the truth from their memories. And as if the film were slapping people in the face for not noticing this, it proves this very same topic later in a more obvious way when the entire family basically goes on a witch hunt when they don't agree what Harlan's will says. The acting is really top-notch. I like Chris Evans as Harlan's grandson. He kind of gives a really jerky vibe despite the fact that oftentimes in the second act he's being extremely helpful to Marta. And Daniel Craig seems like he really got into this role. It's like if the 2006 Casino Royale with him in it, instead of being a serious action movie, it was more like the 1967 one with David Niven and Woody Allen. It managed to mix his cool, collected James Bond side with a good amount of humor and possibly the worst southern accent I've ever heard in my life. But for some reason I really like his accent for what it is. The part that makes Knives Out special is that it wasn't based on a book, it wasn't remade, and it doesn't even follow the standard mystery movie tropes. In fact, in the first act, it shows us exactly what happened the night Harlan died. It seems incredibly hard to make a good original mystery movie, because with a mystery movie, you have to find a way to smartly interconnect everything, so that when you finally solve the mystery, you can go back and say, "Oh, that makes way more sense." And mystery movies often don't have much rewatch, but this one does because of what an impressive feat it is. And not enough people notice that. I think more people should. Now, the part of the film that kind of slows down is when Blanc figures out the whole mystery and then spends the next 14 minutes explaining it. And that's too bad because this was such a smart twist. And if it were executed better, I think it could have been a really good twist and a really good end. And I think it kind of lacks creativity when the director can't actually put the twist into action. If you want to reveal the twist, reveal it to us in a way that isn't just exposition and a bunch of 3-second long flashbacks. And speaking of the twist, 2 pieces of Blanc's actual incriminating evidence is based on simple sentences. For example, when the real murderer sneaks out of Harlan's house, Harlan's mom says, "You're back?" Then when Marta sneaks out of the house, she says, "You're back again?" Of course, she actually says the murder's name both times, but I'm trying to keep it spoiler-free. I felt like the actual murderer was gonna burst out laughing at Blanc's flimsy evidence. If a prosecutor showed that as his evidence in an actual court of law, he'd be innocent, and this just feels underwhelming and lazy. Now, before I bring this up, I want to say that I am completely politically unbiased. I have no political opinion. And now that I've said that, I do, however, have a problem with Rian Johnson clouding his movie with current politics. This isn't even the first time he's unnecessarily squeezed in current politics into one of his movies. He did something like this in The Last Jedi, and the problem with doing this is that those aspects of the movie prevent it from being timeless. Because then, later on, some people might not know a lot of their political references, such as when a character tells someone to take off his red hat in reference to Donald Trump's Make America Great Again hats. And this wouldn't be too much of a problem if it were just references. But one of the character's mother's illegal immigrant status ends up being a major plot point throughout the film, and so it will eventually alienate even more people in the future. Knives Out is such a fun movie, but it isn't perfect. Its unnecessarily political input, along with its underwhelming final twist, is why I'm going to give Knives Out an A-. If you like Knives Out, I highly recommend an 80s movie called Clue. It is similar to Knives Out in the way of it being a fun, original whodunit, and I personally like Clue a lot better. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video enough to press the like button. Stay safe and watch good movies. Bye!